All right, today, guys, we're going to talk quickly about visual journals. If you haven't heard about them before, here are some examples of some finished visual journals. You can see that the covers are decorated. You can see that they're bound, they're tied together, and that they are full of pages. Now, the visual journal is one of my favorite things because it gives you the opportunity to experiment and try new things and to even go back to things that you might be more comfortable with or that you just want to do. It gives you a lot of freedom in your artwork. Okay? So each one of these journals is filled with a bunch of these journal pages. Now, here's a blank one. Each one is exactly the same size as a half sheet of paper, which is great because then you can add your own pages to it. But this page is your opportunity to experiment and do what you like. Each page has an assignment or a title, but it's very vague. The very first assignment is you, capital Y-O-U. So you can interpret that any way you want and fill this page with anything that has to do with that topic. Okay? So you get to choose kind of the subject matter. You also get to choose the materials that you use as well. Any materials I have here while you're working on visual journals here, you're welcome to use, or any materials you have at home. Even some materials that you might not always think of as art materials, you're welcome to use on here. The way that I grade these is right here on the back. There are 4 different aspects to the visual journals. We got to have visuals. There's got to be something that's drawn or painted or finger stamped or collaged or whatever on here, something that we can see. This is art class after all. There does have to be some text on the pages. We're looking for 2 or 3 sentences worth of text. It doesn't have to be in sentence form or anything like that, and it doesn't even have to be legible. I don't need to be able to read all of it. Some of it could be covered up. That's up to you. The page needs to be filled. We're working on a half sheet of paper here. It should be pretty easy for us to fill it all the way up. And lastly, as with all the projects, we want to have good craftsmanship. Okay, so let me show you some examples. We'll put this over here. All right. These are all student examples here. We'll get to my example in a second. But you can see tons of text. I love it when people use the writing as part of the visuals as well. It's very cool. You can see that we're doing different types of media. We got some collage, some marker, we got some ink painting, we got pencil and colored pencil. And you start to get the idea of what this is looking like. Each one of these pages has text, has visuals, the page is full, and you can tell that these students took their time. This is very interesting. Someone was doing this one at home. It came out really cool. Okay? And depending on what the topic is or the assignment is, can help inspire you what to make your visual journal page about. Okay? Our plan is to work on these in class and outside of class whenever you finish a project early or whenever we have an extra day. We're going to be working on visual journal pages. And by the end of our time together, we'll have a decent number of them that we can then put together with a cover front and back and bind it together. Here's my example of my first one. All right, I did some packing tape transfers. Hopefully you've seen my video on that. But I wrote all over the back. That was the first thing I did. And I'm not sure if you can see it or not, kind of in the background here. I did it with a pen, and then I put watercolor over the top of it. So it kind of washed most of it away. But that's okay. It's still kind of here a little bit, and it adds to my picture. All right, I did highlight some of my words, and they didn't get washed away. But I've got my page full. I've got lots of text. I've got visuals in the packing tape transfers. I did some white paint over the top. I did watercolor. I did colored pencil. It's really mixed media here. The page is full, and you can tell that I took my time to make it nice. So those are all the things you need to know about visual journal pages. I look forward to seeing what you guys can come up with and how you interpret each one of the assignments. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.